Hello, so I'm in the workshop and today it's going to be making some terrain. It's lovely and sunny and dry, which makes a big difference. It's hard making terrain in the winter when nothing dries. And the world's held together with PVA, as you know. These terrain boards you might not have seen before, because I think it's a new idea. They're lightweight, they're hard wearing, they take paint easily, they take PVA easily. And I show just make a few more boards with the simplest of materials, it all locks together. See what you think? I think that's great. Let's see what you think. Now, as you probably know from my battle reports, I've got a variety of boards I use. I've got MDF squares, where you can swap them around and make boards. They're quite nice, especially used to like them when I was doing more fantasy and 40k, that kind of thing. And then I've got the felt cloth I use a lot, which I spray on, some I've textured. And I've done the kind of caulking method, which I'll run through at some point. You get felt, caulk it so you can add more scenery, depth, basically get a better surface, which if you watch my more recent battle reports, tends to be what we use, especially for Blucher, things like that. And what I've also discovered now, though, is when I was reading Miniature War Games, in fairness, a couple of months ago, there was an article in there about making scenery from foam floor mats, whatever you want to call it. People use them for yoga and stuff, and I think he meant the quite thin mats that you can buy. Or the anyway, I popped down to Halford's, not in commission, not by them. I should be so lucky. And while I was there, there was a special offer on for this stuff. Got interlocking floor mat set, which by luck, 1200 by 1800 millimeters, which is roughly 6 by 4, which is about right for a table. Everything interlocks. You can move it around, and I thought it'd be great. So I've had a little bit of a play with it, and as you will see, there's the first couple of boards. I think it's looking cracking. That paint hasn't quite dried yet. I'll put some pictures at the end of the video. Whoa, dodgy camera work over here. And all I've really done is use very cheap, basic materials, cheap acrylic paints. It says 97p, I think they're actually for less. Picked these up from the works. This is sawdust, I always have tons of it lying around. Some flock, which I got plenty of, but these are optional. The basic premise is we're going to paint this board with, I'm just using a lot of PVA, some green acrylic paint, whacking it on. I put some the sawdust just to break it up a bit, you know, so it doesn't look like you're playing on a smooth surface. And also, you remember my boards get used for various scales, from 6mm right up to quite large, you know, 40k type stuff. So I don't want to make it too specific, and I think that's one of the secrets of making boards. I've spoken to about this before. It's a bit like when you go to a theatre set, you don't want the backdrop overpowering, because you have to suspend disbelief. So the backdrop, if you go to a live theatre, suggests and creates a tone, and I think that's what your board should be doing. If they're too detailed, you feel like you're playing on a photo or something. Now, I think with some of the aerial games that works alright, but if you're moving troops around on it, it can look a little bit weird, because the 3D element is not quite right. And as we all know, ground scales and figure scales never really match. So my objective when I make boards is just to break it up. I don't want to play on a snooker table. I just want to break up the green, and then I can add my own scenery. Or the games I tend to play, you add your hills and you add your trees and that kind of stuff. So that's very much my philosophy, and I can follow to see how it goes with this one. Oh, and just to give an idea of cost, this whole 6x4 with the edges. Just get that onto camera. There's an edge that goes on them. So I broke the first one off because I was like, oh great, I can make my board, break the edge off to have an experiment with some. I made some rocks and stuff, which I'll show you some other time. I get some more of this. This is on offer at the moment. It was only £10, so that's pretty good. Now filming this is going to be very difficult, almost impossible. Right, so all I've done, get some cheap paint. Don't really need that as much as I put in there, really. Nice big splodge of PVA. I use these things. They're designed for ketchup, I think. I just get them from catering. Pick this up from Costco, one of those kind of places, Macro, and just fill it up, and it's great, very useful. Just squirt it around. All right, anyway, give this a mix, an old brush. I am going to put a drop more water in there. It's up to you how strong you want to make it. Right, this is my dark undercoat. Now, one of the things I love about these particular ones is they are black. And when I paint my figures, I always prime everything black first, and I find it this works great. And if you do miss a bit or something, black doesn't really show up. So watch how quick this is now. I'm actually going to tip some, because I'm always trying to do things quickly if I can. Here we are. Bosh, 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 bosh. Just to get a covering on the bottom, really. I could drop more water. If you can see, I really am just sloshing this on. You could spend hours on it, you could airbrush it, I could make this look really complicated. You'd all be very impressed, and I charge you hundreds and hundreds of pounds for these boards. I'm not looking to sell it, I'm looking to show you some ideas that you can do. You know, sharing the love. Right. Alright, so what I'm going to do now, just to break up the terrain a bit, I'm just going to sprinkle some sawdust. You're not really going to see this, it's just to break up the flatness of it. Alright. And then start stabbing. So you want to get these sort of cheap brushes. I get these from B&Q. You get a pack of them, they cost very little. I wouldn't use them for decorating the house, but they're very good for mashing them up on things like this. Alright, so we're getting a little bit, it's not so smooth now, you know. Okay, what we'll do then is get another paint, almost the same, it's just lighter. You can do whatever colours you like, obviously. Desert, use browns and yellows. Talk about stating the bleeding obvious, eh? Right, okay, another squirt of PVA is going to go in there. Just 'cause I love PVA. And it's going to be a lot lighter, and I just stab, 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 stab. Just to break it up, yeah? That's all we're doing. That's all I'm trying to do is break it up. So you're not playing against this massive miles and miles of snooker table or mowed lawns. The other thing, which I'm big into nature and natural plant growing and that kind of thing. And you look around, especially this time of year, I'm filming this in May 2018, just so you know, is all the colours you see everywhere. You don't see any green fields. Really, they should be full of yellow, you know, for the buttercups, or white for the daisies, and you don't really get green, but there we are, wargamers, we tend to play on green, don't we? I don't know, it's because of green felt. And really, that, as it is, will be done. That's how quick it is. Well, this one had a little bit more. And now, I'm really careful here. I'm not going to use electrostats to get this to stand up. It's just a little bit of flock. I'm going to, from quite a high distance, probably off the camera. Just try to tilt. All I'm doing is that. Just a little bit. And I don't want any clumps. And it's just landing quite fine. Hang on, to get rid of that. I don't want those lumps. I don't want clumps. So as soon as you have clumps or any kind of prominent terrain, you are setting the scale and everything. So if you've got a particular game, or you always play 28mm, and you always play Europe, then hey, fill your boots, you know, make it like any other terrain board. But mine is the Mr. Universal one, when I'm playing 50mm Napoleonics, the next 28mm Ancients. So I want this vague and suggestive. Ta -ta 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 -ta. And that, my friends, is more or less that. I'm having to work quickly because it's such a sunny day, everything's drying very fast. There you go. This video's going to be very short, isn't it? Oh dear, I have to sing or something. Because try to make it look a bit more difficult than it actually is, because that's it. I'm going to poke myself down here. There you go. And the other thing I'm going to do is, like I said, about different coloured flowers and things. I like that kind of thing. And I might put a bit more yellow flock in there just to give it look like a buttercup field or something. But the idea very much is, like I said, just to be suggestive in the background, and then I can plonk on whatever bits I want to use. All of these are things I make myself, you know, like fields and stuff, so I can just put those on. Gives you an idea. Roads, rivers. It just forms a backdrop, really, and that's all I think you're trying to do with boards. I don't like them too photorealistic, and sometimes you overdo it, they can really, I don't know, destroy, what's it, this suspension of disbelief. Anyway, so there you go. Please leave your comments, hope you like that. Till the next time, keep rolling. Yes, and for the viewer who did ask me to try out the miniature war games ideas, I know I didn't actually get to do those. I started breaking bits off to make rocks. I'm sure it'll work fine. I ended up doing the whole 6x4 board, which is a different idea completely to what I was supposed to do, but I enjoy doing it. And I have found another material even better when it comes to making rocks and hills and things like that. So that video will be coming soon. So until the next time, keep rolling! Come across this new idea which I'm dying to show everybody because I think it's just fantastic. Just these simple materials here. Oh look, hang on, can you see that on the camera over there? Beautiful.